I absolutely love watching people fall in love with that process. It's so rewarding to see somebody come through our door, never take care of a plant before, and a month later come back and tell us that a new leaf has sprouted or that, they've added to their collection. I think it's very important for people to care for something other than themselves and to watch something that is a living being grow and give back when they give to it, if that makes sense.
Hey guys, my name is Sean. I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. I'm in Tula House in Brooklyn, New York, and this is a beautiful plant store. And I was actually here because I'm gonna meet my friend Randy. He suggested to meet up in this particular store. When I saw how beautiful it is on Instagram, I requested to film here pretty last minute. So I caught up with Christine, the owner, as well as Liam, the manager here, and I asked questions like, what are some of the more interesting plants grown here? What are some of the most requested plants? And some of the challenges growing here in New York City. And I'm also going to give you a tour to see some of the interesting plants grown here, and a lot of them we're going to be very familiar with. But just walking around this plant store, I'm really inspired by how beautiful everything is, how well grown it is. And I want to thank Palm Street for flying me here to the United States. They are a sponsor for the IAS show. That episode would have aired a few months ago, but without them we would not be filming all these wonderful contents in the United States. So thank you again, Palm Street.
Hello, welcome to Tula House. My name is Christan Summers. I'm one of the co-founders of Tula House. I own this business with my husband, Ivan Martinez. We started Tula House back in 2014. Yeah, is that right? I think. What year did I start this business? What year is it? No, 2016. We started this business in 2016. We actually started Tula House out of a plant truck. Wow. And we retrofitted this adorable ice cream truck to look like a greenhouse on wheels. And we would go around to markets throughout the city and serve our community. And it was a wonderful way of building a community and starting our business. And it's what brought us here into this storefront that we are in right now, 8 years later. This warehouse is 100 years old. At one point, we realized we really needed more space and we needed to serve more people. So from our plant truck to a big storefront is where we landed. And when we first found this space, it was a wreck. No offense to the previous owner, but it was a warehouse. It wasn't ready to sell plants, let's just say. So my husband and I were both designers, my husband in particular, and we dreamt of a storefront that we wanted. We wanted color, we wanted life, we wanted vibrancy. My husband is Cuban, so much of the interior design is inspired by his heritage and creating just sort of a Cuban courtyard vibe. It's very important to us that people feel like they're welcome here and this is a home for them. And that's why Tula House is the name that we are. So everybody who comes through the door is welcomed and everybody is treated like an old friend here. So a part of the Tula House growth from the beginnings of our truck to now our retail is now we also offer a service arm of our business. So we do small to large scale installations from, just placing plants on a floor to massive green walls and customized planters. So that's a really exciting part of our business that we're expanding upon. And the best part is that we get to go back and maintain those plants as a part of the maintenance of the plant and the contract. So it's been amazing serving this community in Greenpoint and Brooklyn and basically all of New York City. And we're just really grateful for everybody who's a plant lover and who continues to come back and show interest in learning about how to keep plants alive. And so now I'm gonna pass it on to Liam. Liam is our manager here, and Liam also manages all buying of the plants. So he is the person to talk to about the plants and the species that we have in store right now.
I would like to know, what are the typical customers here like?
We have a wide range of types of customers, whether you're an experienced plant parent and have a huge collection, or you're brand new and this is going to be your brand new plant. Or your first plant here. So we have a lot that we go over with our customers, whether it's teaching them just how to water, how to give it good light, and what does direct sunlight mean? Does it need direct sun? Our other customers, maybe they know that info already. So we're talking style, we're talking design, we're maybe pruning this Aurelia Ming down to give it more of a bonsai look. So our customers, we have so many different types. We have a lot of regulars coming back in because we really pride ourselves on happy, healthy plants, and our customers can feel that and sense that.
Now, on this side, I understand there's like an arid section, which we will tour later. And on this side, it's mostly tropicals.
Yes.
Which does better for you here in the city?
Well, the tropicals are easier, I think, for people to bring into their homes. They have less limitations on like lighting and care. Cacti can be a little bit hard because of the amount of light that they need, but they're very easy plants to grow. Plus, the tropical plants, they're very rewarding fast. So you see that new leaf come a lot faster than you may see a little bit of growth on a cactus.
And I understand in New York, maybe one of the most concerning concern is like apartment space and also maybe light or humidity. What are some of the ones you've encountered? What are some of the most common?
Now, I know humidity is important, but I try to not put that at the forefront because a lot of people come in and they're worried about humidity, and humidity is not going to really affect the plant growth so much. Like, you may get a little browning tip if it's under a certain level, but our apartments generally are between 40 and 60% humidity levels, which is okay with plants. Limiting factors, definitely light. Okay. I would say like our windows could be small. We may have obstructions, big tall buildings in the city. Maybe the wintertime, the tree defoliates. So instead of a blocked window, you have a ton of sun. So it's always changing. So our care is always gonna change too. It's always gonna be affected by the environment. And we get so many different types of people. We have a wide range of customers. We do love you all, guys. Some people are apartment dwellers where they're building their own collection, whether it's 1 or 2 plants or 100. We're here to help with any amount. Those people, like, it'll be different of how much we're educating them on watering and light conditions and feeding, whether you're brand new or experienced. We also have a set of customers who are maybe interior designers or work in offices. We connect people with a lot of specimen plants in that situation where we're getting something either quite large, maybe with a unique shape, something that screams Tula, because people come to us for that. And then also gifts. Plants, my favorite gift. And for that, you know, we talk about maybe the recipients' favorite colors, or maybe the design of their home, or if this would be the best case scenario, if the person buying the gift knew the kind of light that they had at home, because as we all know, the lighting is going to be different for every plant. So generally with those situations, we try to go something that's adaptable to different, you know, maybe an epiphyte, something that gets scattered sun, so we know they'll be happy in either form. And with all customers, we want to talk about how that plant's going to grow to fit their space.
Shower, you guys put it here.
Yeah, this was put in as our soil station and watering station. As we expand, we only wish we did it bigger.
Okay, so more people can shower at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I've had people ask if I shower, and I'm like, yeah, with the direct line to the door and the window.
Yeah. Got a little butt there. Cute. So Liam, based on what you described to me earlier, can you recommend a few plants based on the types of customers?
Absolutely. So let's start with our apartment dweller. So we're looking for something that maybe is not going to take up a lot of space, has a couple interesting design points that we're going to look at, and then is also not too easy to care for. Here in New York especially, we do have a large plant community. So I always recommend our apartment dwellers to get something a little unique so that it's a nice like talking point when you have someone over. Maybe you can like exchange cutting or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I would say one of my first recommendations, the Alocasia brancifolia. This is one of my favorite alocasias. Mostly because of the leaf structure. I love the palm look that it gives. I also love the pattern on the stem.
Yeah.
You have a really beautiful pattern that you see on a few occasional alocasia species. Like I'm thinking of like the trigonas one. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. It's super easy. And what I love about alocasia is if they ever get too big, you can always cut it back.
Yeah.
They grow via rhizome, so that'll help keep the stem thick and maybe even branch out. Like I do that with mine at home. And it's so cute to see the little nubs as they branch.
Yeah. And this is actually two plants if you look closely.
This is actually two plants. So you could keep them together or you could separate them. Us New Yorkers, we love to keep them together. We don't need plants covering. Well, you know, we have so many plants that we need to keep things, each species together so we could get more.
And then you might find corms inside if you...
Exactly, yes, we love a corm. I would call myself a corm farmer, you know. And then one other recommendation that I have right over here, it's a Hoya publicalyx. I would probably recommend any type of Hoya to our New York family here. Hoyas are some of my favorites. I love the blooms. Like you'll be walking by, oh, what's that? And then you'll look and then you'll find a flower. They're so fragrant at night especially, but they're easy. They're drought tolerant. They can dry out, treat them like a succulent. They have thick leaves. And they can handle lots of light. So they can handle direct sun where you may get a blushing or indirect light where maybe it'll stay this green and you may see some longer tendrils. Another great recommendation for an apartment dweller. It does take up a little space. So this apartment is gonna have more room. Maybe it's a 2-bedroom, but I love this one because for a palm, it's really tough. This one's the Rapis palm or lady palm. For palms, they don't dry up and crisp as quickly. And then these also can be watered not so frequently. So they can be maybe every week and a half in a dark space. They're so great for low light tolerance. You don't want this in a lot of light. So if you see them usually getting like faded or washed out, maybe a brighter green, that's a good sign that it's too much light.
Okay. And does this get taller than this, or?
This will definitely get taller. I've had them at the store my height, but it'll be equally as wide.
Okay.
So for our next recommendation, it's gonna be for our office or our interior designer. We do a lot of projects under our Tula Gardens, which is so great. We have a lot of different spaces that have so many different lighting conditions. So something I consider for these spaces is ease. We want something to be easy for the client and the customer, and we're gonna pick something like a Lisa cane. Lisa canes, it's in the Dracaena family. We love a cane because they're not gonna need as frequent waters. They're gonna be sometimes every 2 to even 3 weeks if you have it in a low light space. Now, my viewers here, don't take these week to week watering advice to your practice because it's going to be different for everybody. Just a side note. But the Lisa cane's great because it fills a space. It's gonna look lush. It's gonna have a lot of stored chlorophyll in the dark green, which is a good sign for low light plants. And it stays narrow. It's not gonna reach out, get in the way of the doorway. So we love Lisa cane. So another one, let me show you in our arid room, because some of our clients will have good sun in their space. So of course, we generally will have like a design pitch where we know what they're looking for in terms of style. However, I would always recommend something like, you know, Euphorbia ingens, a Ceres peruvianus if they wanted a columnar cactus. Well, the euphorbias aren't technically a cactus. They're in the succulent family.
Really?
The difference really is like euphorbias are filled with a milky latex sap and have thorns, whereas cacti, they're filled with water and they have spines. That's like a quick, you know.
Yeah, interesting nugget of information.
But surprisingly, like the euphorbias, I find these tolerant to not as much sun as like a cactus. So like I have these in some spaces that get indirect light and maybe an hour or 2 of sun, which with a cactus, you might see etiolation, which is when they grow thinner at the top. It's usually a sign the cactus isn't getting enough sun to like fatten up.
Interesting.
So yeah, we love these guys.
Yeah.
We have a lot of different sizes and styles of the cacti and euphorbia. Like you'll see this one next to me is candelabrum. And actually it's in flower. So even this one on the left is really cute.
Oh yeah, these are all about to come in.
Yeah.
Bloom.
And that's actually another good difference of euphorbias versus cacti are the flowers. Because euphorbia flowers, no matter what the euphorbia looks like, they're generally really small. Whereas like cactus flowers, they're amazing. Like they are huge, like sometimes bigger than my face.
Oh, wow.
But they're quick.
Okay.
They're like 1 day, 2 days.
And of course, as you said earlier, the cactus will need more light, maybe even sun.
Everything in this room, like all the succulents and cacti, I like to recommend at least 4 to 6 hours of direct sun. You know, you could supplement with like a grow light, which we do here a lot in the city. But we also would recommend like a heat mat because the grow light is not going to give you everything the sun gives you. The heat from the sun also will warm up the roots, have them more actively growing, soaking up that water and nutrients. So our last category is going to be gifts. Now, who doesn't love a gift? But gifts can get complicated because you want that person to love it and you want it to work for them. So I always start off by just asking, what do you want to spend? Because we have something for everybody in terms of price range. For pottery and plants, you know, you could get a plant for under $10 with pot. You can also get a plant for hundreds of dollars with the pot. So that's a good place to start. If you don't have a budget, one of my favorite choices is the Abdel Curry. This is a euphorbia. To me, it's one of the coolest euphorbias.
Gorgeous.
It has a gorgeous silver color. They only live one place in the world naturally, an island off of Yemen called Abdel Curry. And they also have, instead of the white latex style euphorbias have, they have a neon yellow.
What?
So it's really cool. They're really slow to grow. And there is a pink variety too. That's kind of hard to come by.
That's cute.
So one more gift option that I love to recommend is the ficus ginseng. Now, we get a lot of people asking about bonsais. And so bonsai is just something that's a great gift because it's something that has intention. You're pruning, you're shaping, you're giving the plant a personality. So you can do that really easily with both of these. They're the same plant. Every specimen is going to give you a different trunk shape and of course different stages of their leaf growth. I tend to keep them cut back in my own collection, so I don't let them get too tall like this one. But on my sites, like at some of our restaurants, we have these that are full-blown like this tall and they are so gorgeous. So, you know, either way would work. And for care, because they have this really beautiful stump, they can handle some direct sun. Ficus love direct sun, but can also handle indirect light. Again, it's just gonna inform how often you're watering, how often you're fertilizing, and even potentially how often you're repotting it. Because with more sun, it's just gonna develop roots faster, grow faster. And of course, being a bonsai, if you don't want it to be in a bigger pot, you could keep the roots trimmed back and repot it in a similar size. Really easy. We love these.
Nice.
This stomatophyllum has been up here since Tula opened. We had to get a forklift to get it up there. And it has been up there since we've opened, so about 5 years. And I've done like a little bit repotting. We climb up there, we use a ladder. Because we have to clean her, we have to feed it, prune it. It's just like any other plant. Just because it's big, you know, doesn't mean it's going to be harder or easier. You know, Diffenbachyias aren't too popular here either, which is surprising to me because of the patterns and the low light ability.
And drought tolerant.
And drought tolerance,
I think the problem is that they're known to be, people say toxic.
I was going to say they're very toxic, We have a lot of people asking about the pet-friendly plants.
Super cute. Oh my gosh, and this one is in bloom.
Let's get it in the light.
Yeah, where's the light? Right there. Oh my gosh.
And this one looks like it's about to...
Yeah,
Is it
flower.
flower? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're cute.
this one right here.
It's so cute.
They're not always yellow,
Yeah, I've never seen one flower.
And then do they go dormant after they flower?
usually.
And then you can shed their skin when it's springtime or something.
Exactly. And sometimes I prefer, instead of the flower, when they push up the head and then they split.
Yeah.
Or when they have two heads that come out.
It's so satisfying to watch. Have you split one open before?
No.
Oh, I've seen them all over TikTok and Instagram. Love it. I don't know how good it is for the plant, but
These ones, like, I'm like a waterer. Like, I like to give attention to my plants at home. And these ones, they don't want attention all the time.
oh yeah.
Like, they'll get wrinkly when they're thirsty. Like, this one's kind of getting there, I'd say. And you can almost feel it, like it's softer.
Cute.
But yeah, me and these guys, we don't live together.
Gorgeous Dahlia just enveloped that pot, devouring it completely. So they said that this sink was an original feature here, and it still runs, it still works. And if you look up above, look at all these beautiful beams and that skylight. So they did renovate this somehow, and I love this. I don't know what pipe this is, maybe for water. And you can see that coming down over there. So they hung some plants on top of it. So it's a really clever use of this functional feature. I really love that look. This is amazing. Look at how cute this is. So it was decapitated, and then because of that, it grew all these like new vines. So this is what happens when you decapitate a cactus, or most plants in fact. These Euphorbia trigonas are also super adorable, and one that I recommend for beginners. I have a video on how I care for and propagate this plant. They can take a wide variety of conditions. Some of them can take full sun, but they can also kind of sort of tolerate medium light, but super fun to probably chop it off and it'll grow a few vines in its place. So you can have a nice bushy one of those. And love, love, love all these propagations going on. So these ones are starting to put out little babies here. Super cute. When you come in here, there's some cute plants. I really love their display here. It's very warm, welcoming, and inviting. Gorgeous Tillandsia xerographica. There's another one over there. They're kind of scattered all over the place. And they're tucked in the back there in low light. I guess when you grow them in lower light, you don't water them as much. But these guys normally would love very bright light, bright indirect, and a huge basket. And here a basket of Tillandsias, just different kinds in here. And this pot here, this is just so beautiful. It's got me rethinking the tortums. They make such a nice indoor display. In the centerpiece of this store, believe it or not, this giant fern is dominating even the indoor trees. So there's a myriad of indoor trees this laid around this centerpiece here. This is a Schefflera that does quite well indoors. Ficus Audrey, Of course, this is a philodendron, Harriso verde. Definitely an interesting mix in there. This is some kind of Rhaphidophora or Epipremnum. And of course, they have a ton of merch on the table, and they have some t-shirts over here and more merch here. Actually, I noticed that when people come here, they sometimes just browse and they take in all this creativity, all this wonderful display of products. Not necessarily for the plants, but they definitely do complement the plants. This is an Amidrim medium silver. Peperomia obtusifolia variegata. It's strange because for once, all of these plants here, I think maybe 90% of them actually know the name. So I guess this plant shop is not the largest, but then they really zoom in on some of the more essential house plants. It's really nice to see. Calathea rattlesnake.
So something.
And more peperomia. It really is a mixed bag here of different types of plants. And if you ask me, syngoniums for a New York City apartment would do really well because syngoniums are indestructible and they can take a wide variety of conditions. All right, Liam, thank you so much for having us today.
Oh, thank you so much for coming to Tula today. And everybody, if you're in the Greenpoint or the Brooklyn area, make sure to stop by. We're always getting new plants and planters in, and we're always down to talk plants. So if you need to learn a little bit, come see us.
And also give them a follow. The Instagram is going to be on the screen because they do have some beautiful, beautiful Instagram posts that's going to inspire you. It's going to make your day better.
Oh, thanks, Sean.
Yeah, thank you again.
And we'll see you soon.
See y'all in the next one. Bye.
Bye.